Hi, my name is Mackenzie, and my video is about deaf culture. First, it's important to explain what hearing loss means, which includes individuals who are deaf and those who are hard of hearing. Both of those terms are very difficult to define. As Harrington explains, there is no legal definition of deaf or deafness as compared to the legal definition of blindness. This leaves both of the words and phrases to have a variety of meanings. One of the reasons I chose this population is because of my family members. The way I typically explain it is that my brother is deaf and my father is hard of hearing. My brother lost his ability to hear in both ears as a result of getting sick with meningitis at a young age. My father, on the other hand, lost all of his hearing in one ear and a large percentage of his hearing in the other ear due to a completely unrelated cause as my brother called cholesteatoma, which is a hereditary disorder that affects the inner ear bones. My father and brother are two of the estimated 38 million individuals who have hearing problems in the United States, which equals roughly 13% of the total population. As indicated by the table to the left, adults over the age of 45 are more likely to be impacted by hearing problems. There is also an estimated 45 to 50,000 individuals who are deaf-blind in the United States, which really surprised me when I researched the statistics. Next, I will briefly go over the historical information regarding deaf culture. The French Sign Language Dictionary was published in 1788, which is one of the first known forms of sign language. It wasn't until about 30 years later that American Sign Language was being recognized and used in the first school for deaf children that was founded the same year. In 1892, the first electrical hearing aid was developed and used. Later, in 1985, cochlear implants first became available, and later I will show a clip that simulates what that sounds like. The civil rights history for individuals who are deaf or who have disabilities include the Rehabilitation Act, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, and the Americans with Disabilities Act, which all work to achieve equal access and equal opportunities for this population. The next clips are a cochlear implant simulator, which will demonstrate what speech and songs sound like to an individual who wears a cochlear implant.
A pot of tea helps to pass the evening. A pot of tea helps to pass the evening.
It is really all in the name of science.
It is really all in the name of science.
That was an unexpected outcome.
That was an unexpected outcome.
It was a full moon 3 nights ago.
It was a full moon 3 nights ago.
Currently, for the deaf population, there is a much wider variety of assistive technology that combines with sign language for methods of communication. These include hearing aids, cochlear implants, FM systems that work similarly to hearing aids, captions for videos, and telecommunication relay services that work as a talk-to-text device for translation or telephone purposes. There are a variety of population stressors both for the individuals and their families. One important thing to remember is that English is considered a second language for many of these individuals, since signs and ASL are learned first. Children who are born deaf or who have early hearing loss typically display language delays and have difficulty acquiring normal oral language skills. Parents and families have high levels of stress as well, especially when deciding which communication method to use with their children, as it will play a role in their development for the rest of their lives. There is also a major ongoing financial stressor for individuals who are deaf and their families related to healthcare and the management of assistive technology, because these devices can cost thousands of dollars each. The next video clip will be of Helen, who shares her story of how she became deaf and what she goes through on a daily basis. This will give you some personal insight on what it's like to be deaf in a hearing world.
Okay, hello, my name is Helen. I'm 21 years old. I'm currently at Oxford University studying physiology and psychology. I'm totally deaf. Welcome to my world. When I was 19 months old, just 4 hours after this photo was taken, I became suddenly very ill with meningitis. My hearing was destroyed. My world became silent. Even the most powerful hearing aids that made sounds so loud that you would deafen a hearing person were useless. I heard nothing at all. My only chance of regaining hearing and having my own voice was a cochlear implant. This was brand new technology at the time and a risk, but I had nothing to lose. I was 3 years old when I had the surgery to insert the implant. Oxford University is proving to be a gateway to a whole new life. However, the cochlear implant has a hard time coping with the rigours of academia in the vast lane that is study at Oxford. There are only 22 electrodes in the cochlear implant to replace function that was originally taken care of by 30,000 hair cells. This means that the amount of information that can be decoded and transmitted to the brain is severely reduced. As a result, the auditory input the cochlear implant provides is very impoverished. Take the example of a lecture. This is what you hear.
The conditions were either to just move the left finger, a little finger wiggly on the left side of space.
This is the auditory input that cochlear implant provides me. My brain has to work overtime to fill in the gaps so that I can understand the complex information the lecturer is conveying. So much of my brain processing power is used in just keeping up with the lecture, I cannot take my own notes. As a result, I require note-taker support. I have an electronic note-taker who provides a transcript of what the lecturer is saying as she is saying it. This means that my brain does not have to work quite so hard to fill in the gaps. I also have a summary note-taker who writes the notes that I am unable to write for myself. My implant has even more difficulty going down the pub. This is what you hear.
Those two photos I see are very natural, whereas
this is what I hear. The key problem is the background noise. The cochlear implant is unable to filter the sound so that I can hear what I want. Instead, I am bombarded by all the sound. In this situation, I feel useless, because all I can do is watch people's lips move. Although I am skilled at lip reading, it is not possible to understand every word. I sometimes choose to use sign language too, especially when I meet up with my deaf friends. I can switch off my implant and just relax, without worrying about missing what is being said. This world of silence is my sanctuary. It is a relief sometimes to retreat into it.
There are many mental health considerations for the deaf population. Statistics show that individuals who are deaf are 2 to 4 times more likely to experience clinically significant emotional distress throughout their lives. These individuals are less likely to be diagnosed with a substance abuse disorder and more likely to be diagnosed with a mood, anxiety, personality, or developmental disorder. For children who are born deaf or have early hearing loss, behavior problems are 3 to 6 times more prevalent. But be careful not to overgeneralize the statistics, because it's not true for all children with hearing problems. Hearing loss for older adults can be a causing factor for feelings of depression and isolation. When working in a clinical setting with individuals who are deaf, it is vital to make sure that the client is comfortable with telling you what they need from you to understand you better. It may include speaking louder, speaking more clear, or slowing down when speaking. It is important to know that individuals who are deaf are highly animated through their body movements and facial expressions due to their reliance on body language and gestures. Do not mistake this for being agitated. Also be aware that they notice nonverbal language more than the average individual, attempting to pick up any cues that you may be giving off with your body posture and movements to better understand what is being said. Make sure not to exaggerate your mouth movements when speaking or being extremely loud. It can make communication and understanding much more difficult. Remember that many deaf people utilize lip reading to fill in blanks when they miss what is being said. Try to refrain from saying never mind if they ask you to repeat yourself. It can be extremely frustrating for individuals to miss what is said. Also avoid speaking directly to an interpreter when one is present, or referring to the client in second or third person to the interpreter. It undermines the fact that the individual is your client and not the interpreter. This can apply to individuals who are deaf as well as other non-English speaking clients. I hope you enjoyed my video and you were able to learn a bunch of new information about deaf culture.